Thanks for joining us for City Council Comments. I'm Steve Erickson along with Councilmember Chris Geisler. Today we're talking about both the July 1st and our July 15th City Council meetings. Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
This is your first appearance on this show.
It is my first one as an official council member. Yes, I'm excited.
We talked to you a little bit. You were actually sitting in this chair when we did your post-election candidate interview. So we were here for that, but this is your first City Council comments.
It is, yeah, and I'm happy to be here. It's been going really good. We're getting warmed up a lot. You know, there's been a lot going on. You know, it's a short ramp into 4th of July, so it keeps us going pretty fast.
Yeah, all right. We'll delve in a little more of that a little bit later on. But speaking of the 4th of July, we just had the big celebration. We're just coming off that about 2 weeks ago, and it sounds like things went really smooth out there.
They did. You know, Chief Steiner and all of his staff did a really great job on, you know, having a great plan, organizing. We had different fencing around the whole site now. They had no incidents. Really, that were associated with the Midway and the fairground space, which is a great improvement compared to a couple years ago. So what they're doing is working. Also, thanks to the community for just being good, responsible folks.
Yes.
I think folks have really reacclimated to being in public spaces and learning how to enjoy themselves appropriately.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like 80-90% of people comply. You know, this is I try to explain this too with the winter parking restrictions, because it's just like, people are like, well, why do you put this out if you don't enforce this or whatever? And it's like, well, if you don't do that, you know, but most people will comply with things. It's that 5 or 10% that, you know, we struggle to reach sometimes.
And some folks, there's always a small little feel that doesn't want to or doesn't care. But no, everybody that I saw had a great time. The parade was fantastic.
Yes. And you were in there?
I was running through it with the council crew. My wife drove my golf cart. We had a great time. Threw 52 pounds of candy on the parade route. So it was quite an adventure. We still ran out a little bit at the very end. So pro tip, don't sit at the end.
True, if you want candy.
If you want candy. But no, everybody was nice. Everybody was kind. They were excited to see us. Everybody seemed happy. You know, so it was a great event, and was up at the car show as well. The whole family was up there with our three cars out there, and everybody was having a good time with that. I skipped the 5K because I'm not much of a runner.
I did too.
But a bunch of folks seemed to have fun with that, and that worked pretty well.
Yeah, and I heard the fireworks was spectacular again this year as usual.
It was great. I actually threw my drone up from my house and got some recordings of the fireworks out there. So I have to stitch them together still, but there's quite a lot. It's really cool watching them from basically straight on in the air and watching all the lights and all the fireworks kind of reflect over the whole area. It's really cool.
All right. Well, another 3-day celebration, a great one this year. Of course, our thanks to the North Star Lions Club, who helps with this, the Coon Rapids Fire Social Group, and then the Community Strength Foundation, which provides some support, and a lot of city staff as well, like you mentioned, the police department, the firefighters, public works department,
and all the contractors and all the bands and all the community members who came out and brought their cars out, and I mean, you name it. Like there's cast of characters across the board. So
all right. Well, if you missed it this year, there will always be next year.
Or you know, they got the Winter Carnival coming up too. Is the next big event at Crick there in December? So
that's true. The tree lighting
ceremony.
Tree lighting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's jump into things. We're going to start off with our July 15th meeting. Really, both of our meetings this month were relatively short. Not a ton of items on there, but we had a good one at our most recent meeting. We had the oaths of office for 2 new police officers.
Yeah, we had Officer Hebert and Officer Guskevich join the force along, I think these are our 5th and 6th for this year. I might be a little off on the numbers. But, you know, Chief Steiner mentioned towards the close of this that we've got a couple more in training. And as soon as they pass and go through, we will be fully staffed on the PD, which as far as officers go, which has been many years since we've been in that state. So, you know, kudos to the team for getting staffed up, and you know, we've been stealing from a couple other local communities as well as getting brand new folks in. But they are really happy to have them here, and everybody seems to be very welcoming every time we add new officers to the force. So.
Yeah, and everybody's had difficulties in the last 5 years, like retaining and recruiting. So like I said, sometimes you get the experienced ones that want to move departments and all of that. But yeah, that was a great fact to hear that it's been about 5 years, I think he said, since we were fully staffed.
I think that sounds right, yeah.
So
looking forward to it.
All right, so we'll have 2 more probably swearing-ins either later this year or the very beginning of next year. All right, moving forward, Council adopted a resolution and approved a gambling premises permit for the Coon Rapids Youth Hockey Association. This is at Stumpy's Hatchet House, which I was there for the first time on Father's Day, throwing axes. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. It's on my list to get there.
You haven't been there?
I haven't
Okay.
had a chance to get out that way yet.
Okay.
But
You got to do that.
yeah, it looks like it's a lot of fun. So
Yeah. So, but now they'll have gambling there as well. It looks like.
yeah, I'm assuming probably pull tabs or something like that. But this will be their fifth location around the city here, which they're allowed up to 5. But it's great to have them continue to have that revenue stream for the charitable gambling.
Yep. And then some of the proceeds of that come actually to the city. Actually, the city takes a certain percent, which is used for some of our events. I know with the Community Strength Foundation and things like that.
Yeah, it comes in, it kind of gets pooled and then redistributed out. So there's kind of an ebb and flow of a cost sharing way that works. But it tends to be pretty beneficial for all parties involved.
Yeah. All right. Moving forward, council authorized a contract with Axon, as I said, Enterprise Incorporated, and adopted a resolution amending the budget.
Yeah, so we switched our police body cameras to Axon. I think it was this year, or it might have been late last year is when we started it. But this is just additional software to help the attorneys and help kind of the management staff of all of the evidence and digital evidence management. And it's a multi-year contract, so a lot of the amendment was just making the math work in the accounting side. But this should really help everything be a little more efficient and help them store things and work better with the county and with the state where applicable.
Yeah, with other systems, I think it was more compatible, this system, and we needed a new body cam system. So.
Yeah, the leases were up, some equipment was time to replace, so it was a natural replacement to consider different vendors, and Axon has become the de facto standard in a lot of places. So.
All right. Council adopted a resolution establishing the city manager's salary. This followed a closed meeting summary. I believe if I'm correct. Does this happen twice a year? The closed meeting, like the review?
City manager has once a year for sure. For sure, there might be a second one that we do for other issues, but closed meetings are just give a chance for the council to. They're recorded. They're fully documented. There's a lot of information with them. They're just not open to the public because we're usually talking about, in this case, an individual's performance of the city manager, because the city manager is the council's employee, and so we are the ones responsible for checking in on how he's doing, if he's accomplishing his goals, if he's managing staff well, and then setting his contract and salary and then rolling forward with it.
Okay. So that happened, and then the new contract has now been approved.
Yes, and we're also very grateful to have Matt Stemwedel stay in the city. He was under consideration for, I think it was Woodbury, and he was looking at that, but he decided Coon Rapids was a much better place to stay, and we were happy to keep him here.
Which was lucky for you in a way, because that's where he started. I know he did some stuff there, so the pull between Woodbury and Coon Rapids, I imagine.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Not too hard when you've worked for Coon Rapids, though.
No,
and grown up here, you got to stay here.
And everybody loves working with them. Yeah. The council loves working with them. Everybody has a very happy, positive relationship, and it's hard to leave a great place that feels good.
Yeah, exactly. All right, council adopted a resolution to approve the second amendment to a joint powers agreement for the North Metro Mayors Association.
Yeah.
You say another city is joining this? Is that the deal?
Yeah, in this case, Crystal wanted to join in North. I don't know where the dividing line of North is on this organization, but the way it works is that all the member cities have to basically ratify this JPA to add a new member. And so Coon Rapids, being a member of the North Metro Mayors, said, yep, Crystal, come on and join the party. And so this is just us saying, enjoy it. It does help the North Metro Mayors kind of consolidate and coordinate efforts and be a little bit of a conversation group if things are happening at the legislature or working with Met Council or other bodies where we can kind of operate as a group. So it allows Mayor Cook to chat with his fellow mayors in a different capacity and do a little bit more good work for the city and our neighbors. Okay,
so that's the purpose, I assume, then, of having a North Metro Mayors Association.
Yeah.
All right. Well, like I said, pretty short meeting. We adjourned at 7:36, so about a 36-minute meeting there for our July 15th meeting. We're going to jump back now to our first meeting of the month, which was actually on the 1st, right before the 4th of July. And again, another short meeting there, but we want to talk about a couple things. One of those being council accepting the 2024 Annual Comprehensive Financial Report. This is something that's done yearly.
As a two-time auditor in my professional life, I'm always excited to see a nice, clean audit report. Yeah. That comes from staff doing their work, working really hard, paying attention to what's happening, following the laws, and then making sure we do it right. So you don't get a clean audit report by being loosey-goosey about it. And so this really helps us have confidence in what are the books, how do they feel, Are we getting everything done properly? Is it moving around properly? Are we spending properly? Are we not going to get any unsurprised fines or fees?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So it's always great to have CLA come in and say, here's your clean audit report. We had a nice little chat with them ahead of the meeting to just dig in on a couple topics for discussion, but nothing important or nothing danger or worrisome or anything. It was just, well, what about, what are you guys seeing in this and from other areas?
Yeah.
And so it's much like Ellers does for our bonding. This gives us some comfort around our financial controls.
All right, and when it seems like our financial people, all the people we've had over the years have done a great job. I feel like for a while we still get this award maybe every year for our financial situation.
Financials and budgeting, and Director Hansen does a great job of keeping everything moving along, answering questions. She's so knowledgeable and so helpful, especially as a new council member coming in. And shoot her a question and say, "What's going on with this?" And here's a page of information that we can use to reference and keep it working.
All right. And you guys will be working on the budget coming up here. I know right now staff has been putting together the 26 preliminary budget. So you guys have a work session coming up here in August to kind of look at that preliminary budget. I mean, this happens over half the year. I feel like the budget's kind of a year-round project, but we'll be hearing more about the 26 budget coming up here in the next couple months.
Always an adventure to talk about budget and then ultimately the levy. And nothing's decided until December at the end of the day, but we have our preliminary processes. And, But everybody's putting together their plans and their requests, and then city manager processes through them and then kind of pitches to us a couple scenarios of what we want to do, and then we talk through and adjust as needed.
All right, more to come on that. Council adopted a resolution accepting donations and business sponsorship. This is something that's been happening quarterly here on the consent agenda in recent months.
Yeah, we had a whole slew of businesses and individuals and anonymous members who donated various things. Some of it was in kind, some of it was money, some of it was for raffle events, or all kinds of things. And honestly, we just thank everyone for supporting the community, for engaging with us, and for their charitable donations. It's really nice to have a community that supports that way.
Yeah, and if folks don't know, there is a business sponsorship program with the city. There's usually information in the newsletter about this, but if there are businesses out there that are interested in sponsoring different events or all sorts of events as a whole, you can find more information on the city's website about the business sponsorship program.
Absolutely, yes, please do.
All right, so moving forward, Council adopted a resolution and approved a variance. This is at 851 84th Lane, Anissa Cravens. This is off East River Road, correct?
Yes, towards the south end of the city between East River Road and the river.
Okay.
There's a little chunk of LDR1, which is our larger single-family home district. In this case, it was a large lot that was large enough to split into two LDR1 lots. Okay. It's a little weird in that it's a cul-de-sac. Cul-de-sac lots tend to be a little funky shaped. Yeah. And so really this variance was about the math of how we measure the pie. Okay. The planned split, or the new property that was being created, still fit, looked, and felt like everything around it. But some of the public was a little concerned because it's a change, and it's really tough, especially when it's been that way for 30, 40, 50 years.
Right.
A lot of times when we see these single lot splits like this, we had a similar one where there's actually a development that's trying to go in a little north of that, where they're just putting in a new cul-de-sac effectively, where it was one lot that's now turning into 11 homes with a little cul-de-sac. Yeah. It's a change. It's hard. It's a little bit there, but also folks have a right to continue to develop their land and their property as they want, so long as they follow the city rules and guidelines, which is exactly what's here. But it's pretty rare for the council to see a variance like this. Usually the Board of Adjustments and Appeals covers it, which they do all the hard work and hear all the stuff, and they spend a lot of time with that. But yeah, we concurred with the Planning Commission, who also did a lot of really good work. My old job, if you will.
Yes.
Spent many years there, and it's good to have when the Planning Commission is unanimous, the council's unanimous. We all look at it pretty toughly to say, is this doing good for the city? Is somebody just causing trouble, or is this pretty typical? Right. And this one was a good one that fits with what we needed in the area.
All right. Moving forward, Council adopted a resolution accepting grant funds from the Coon Creek Watershed District and approved a water quality grant cost share agreement. We've had a couple grants lately that I feel like the Public Works Department has gotten. Yeah,
between the trommel screening, which is like the road sweeper screening process so that we can get less debris in the storm sewer, and then this, I believe, was for the CCTV truck where they can send a camera down our various lines to scope and cam them ourselves. The benefit of this is that we're getting grants, which is someone else's money coming back into us, which is always great. Defrayed some of the costs of a relatively expensive piece of equipment. But this should also help us not have to pay a contractor to do the work. So there's actually a little bit of an ROI in this one, which isn't always the case in public city infrastructure, especially. It's hard to get there for public works, but the public works team did a great job, has been soliciting the grants, going to find them, working with the watershed and everyone else to find ways to be creative and still get everything done and save money for the city.
All right. And I know with the other one, like you said, the trommel screening and the street sweeping they'll be doing in the fall starting. Some areas will be getting a little more sweeping than they used to have in the higher tree canopies, I believe, to try to pick up some of that debris before it gets into the sewer system.
And if they can pick it up on the road before it gets down in there, it's cheaper to maintain and there's less damage. And so it's all about preventative maintenance. And preventative maintenance is a little bit of pain now to save a lot of pain later.
Yes.
So.
All right. Well, that meeting was a little bit longer. 7:44 we adjourned, so about a 44-minute meeting. Again, some things to talk about, but not a ton. But what I did want to talk about is seeing we have you here, and this is your first city council comments, and you've been on board as a council member for Ward 4 now for over half a year, officially. How are things been going?
It's been really great. We did, really the big thing that came first was our council retreat in May. It was a chance for Peter and I, who both started this year, to meet with everybody. And we've been talking to everybody over the time anyway, but really have a whole day with the rest of the council, with the rest of the staff, talk about what we like, what we're trying to do, things that we're worried about, and share ideas. And it's a really nice open forum to have a very polite discussion about things and what we care about, what we're maybe less interested in or more interested in or more worried about. And that helps us come up with our plan for next year. And that's ultimately, right now we're still kind of receiving the plan from last year is how city government works. And so we're still finishing out what was designed by the previous regime. And so now this helps us set our plan for 27, 28 and going forward, as well budget, as well as just things we want to clean up and just initiatives or concepts or ideas. So that's been really great. The council meeting's been great. The public's been great. Get folks reaching out and contacting. I've been posting updates of what's going on my council Facebook page of here's the agenda and here's what it means. So I try to do that every Monday where I can. Sometimes I get out on Tuesday, but usually it's on Monday. So and I talk about the workshops too, which are also open to the public. So if folks want to see what's happening in the workshops, that's where we do a lot of the preparatory work for these agendas, where we'll spend 3 hours talking about what's happening before then we go to an agenda meeting and then we spend 5 minutes.
Which keeps this short.
This
is
short.
why this is short. Otherwise, I'm probably grateful for that. Otherwise, it would be a 3-hour meeting.
Oh yeah. Well, some of the times I think we had a work session either this month or last month that went till 9:30. And we started at 7. So they can go very long. But it's really great. I think we're all settling in pretty well. We've all talked either in meetings or independently, had little one-on-one chats kind of stuff to get to know each other a little better and have better open conversations. And as Mayor Cook likes to say, no drama in the room. So I think we've achieved that so far this year. But it's been great, and staff's been great, and everybody's been just honestly really nice and really helpful.
And not that you don't always disagree sometimes, but it doesn't spill over necessarily at a council meeting. You work things out.
We certainly don't agree on things, and there's certain things we vote against or vote opposite on. But what we try to do is come to a consensus that makes most of us happy, or at least acceptable. And we're not calling names, and we're not throwing people under the bus like some of our neighbors can have had some dangerous meetings in spots. But
our ratings might be higher if that happened, but. Probably keep the drama to a minimum.
I would like to keep these fairly low key if I could, because we all have enough going on.
Well, so far so good, I think. So glad you've been here and doing this for half a year. You still got 3.5 years to go, so you're just getting started.
Best job security ever.
Exactly. All right, well, let's talk about a couple things coming up here. I know our next summer in the city is coming up in less than a week now, Tuesday, July 22nd at Parkside Park.
Yep.
And this will be our last one for the summer.
Last one for the summer, assuming the weather holds. We do have a backup, but if the weather does turn on us, but it's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's a great, as we talked about at the end of the last couple of meetings, it's a great time to come out, see the equipment, meet the staff, see our departments. A lot of our commissions are also out there with tables.
Yep.
The historical is out there, the park, sustainability, a bunch of folks, just things that are for the community. These are for our residents. These are for everybody. Come out, get some water, get some ice cream, see the clown, whatever's going on. There's a raffle for some prizes at the end. But it's honestly just a great chance for everybody to come out and meet everybody. Come meet us, come talk to us, come ask us questions.
Yeah, perfect. All right, again, Tuesday, July 22nd, Parkside Park, which is off of 99th Avenue, kind of by the Coon Rapids Boulevard extension right there. 6:30 to 8 is when that meeting runs.
Yes.
All right, we also have summer concerts. So I know there's one tonight, which will probably, this will just go up tonight, so you'll miss that concert.
Yeah, Stir Crazy on the 17th, but really going forward, the 24th, we have Rocky Lynn, country musician. The 31st, Ecuador Manta, which is Latin fusion, and then August 7th, Revolution 5, which is a Beatles tribute band.
Yeah, and those concerts are always well attended. Thursday nights at the Coon Rapids Dam at 7 p.m. They're free, parking's free. I know the Boy Scouts and the North Star Lions, I believe, are out there selling food beforehand.
Yeah, and apparently the Lions sell out of food, so if you want food, get there early. A lot of times they pack up because they're done, because they're out of food, but I know the Boy Scouts stay a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But come early, get some food, listen to some tunes, and have a great night.
All right. And then the other big event coming up is Night to Unite, which is on Tuesday, August 5th. I know registration has closed because the police department and fire department have to plan their visits, but people can still gather their neighbors and have a party that night.
Yeah, and I encourage everyone to I think the list will go up soon of the neighborhoods. That's usually published out on the city webpage. Go find your local one and go meet some of your neighbors. It's a great opportunity to just connect with folks and have a good time and go by and say hi at least. A lot of the council members usually end up running around on a fire truck or a police car and saying hi to folks. So I'm looking forward to doing that and meeting folks in the ward.
All right. They didn't tell you one of the first new council members, first year, you got to dress up as Rocky.
Oh, man, I don't know. That sounds like a very hot night.
It is pretty hot from what I hear.
Peter and I will fight over it.
There you go. Yeah,
one gets the head, one gets the body.
Yes, that's what's going to happen. All right. So again, yes, Tuesday, August 5th is Night to Unite. So again, that's on a Tuesday night. We normally have a council meeting on that night because it's the first Tuesday of the month. But because of that, the first council meeting in August will be on Monday, August 4th.
Yes.
So one day earlier than normal for that council meeting.
Yes.
So that's the next thing you need to show up for, although you probably have a work session in between.
Actually, I think we do. We have a bunch of work sessions coming through, so we're processing through a lot. Budget prep is always a lot of extra little conversations here and there as we're getting ready. But yeah, busy summer. Lots going on, but again, kudos to the staff for 4th of July. That went phenomenally. Our communications staff did great about getting it out there. PD for organizing everything, all of the volunteers, fire department doing all their work as well. So honestly, that's probably one of our crown jewel events for the year, and it was just great to have it happen this year.
And there's so much work that goes into it behind the scenes, you think, for even months before, and then it's like, it comes and goes in like 3 days, and then it's like, it's all over.
We always talk about the iceberg, right? You see the top 20%, and the 80% is all the stuff that happens beforehand, and the planning and the organizing and the contractors and get spacing and figure out like how did they get the golf carts there for the parade in time? How do all of these little things that frankly staff does great, and I don't even have to think about because golf carts just there and I grab it and I go.
It's perfect.
It's really great to have things that just work that well.
Yeah, and keeping it a safe, family-friendly event is what sounds like is happening.
Absolutely.
All right, well, that's all I got, unless you have anything else you want to add.
I don't. I just thank you again for doing these. These are always great to have a little recap of what's going on.
Yeah.
And I think you get Bear Cook next. So.
All right. Well, he might be up here in August. So thank you for coming in here in July to talking to us about our 2 meetings in July. Thank you at home for watching, and we'll see you back here again after our 2 meetings in August.